All right, everyone, welcome back to another module here in the Academy. Now, in today's one, we're going to be talking about choosing a niche for agency or choosing an agency focus, okay? Now, we're going to be clearing up all of the doubts surrounding should you go into a specific niche? Is it wise to choose a specific focus for your agency, okay? So without any further ado, let's get into today's presentation and look at this rather important subject. All right, guys, so choosing your agency focus. Now, one of the most common questions we get here at the Academy and that I get personally is, should you go into a specific niche? Now, in all honesty, this is completely optional, all right? If you have a niche that you're incredibly passionate about and that you already have lots of knowledge within, then starting in that niche can be advantageous for you, okay? But niches can also be limiting depending on their size. Now, if you manage to lock in on a niche with so many leads that it would be impossible for you to contact most of them within 1 to 2 years, then you may very likely be able to create a highly profitable agency based on just that one niche, okay? But in more narrow niches, you can run out of leads to contact quite quickly, okay? And so our recommendation is as follows. Start by honing in on one particular niche that you're knowledgeable in, okay? This could be fashion, gyms, dental clinics, biohacking, tech, sports equipment, camera equipment, furniture, food, just to name a few. It could literally be anything, all right? Now, if you're not passionate or knowledgeable in any particular niche or industry, don't worry, you definitely don't have to pick a niche, okay? But if there's something, just anything, then spend your first 6 weeks focusing on that niche in particular, okay? For me, this niche was furniture design, okay? My whole life, I've grown up with being exposed to furniture designs, studios, going to furniture fairs in Italy, Germany, etc. Okay, and so naturally I've grown slightly knowledgeable in the field, and I have grown an eye for detail and good design in furniture. Okay, and so interestingly, my first area of focus with my agency was not furniture design. At first, I started searching for leads in many different industries, but in the end, after contacting just less than 5 companies in the design furniture niche, that's when I closed my first client, right? And so this goes to show that searching for clients in an industry or niche that you know something about can drastically increase your chances of closing that first client. Since then, Stitch Digital has worked with around 3 other clients in the furniture design niche, but we've never limited ourselves to just this one niche, okay? Now, there is one niche over them all, and that's e-commerce businesses, okay? But this can hardly be called one niche because you can have an e-commerce business in virtually any industry, okay? My first client was a furniture design brand that had just ventured into the world of e-commerce, okay? And so my job was to increase their online sales through their web shop. And so being an e-commerce business is sort of an upgrade to any client in any particular niche or industry. Why? Well, because e-commerce businesses are more scalable and often they're more international. There's more money for you to make because you can make more money for them, right? But e-commerce businesses also require more skill to deliver results to than local businesses do, okay? So I just want to pull up a couple of examples to put things into perspective between, the difference between e-commerce businesses versus local businesses, okay? So in this first example, we're taking a look at a local business being a gym, okay? So let's say you close a gym client on a $2,000 per month deal, okay? The gym wants to increase their amount of gym members from 300 members to 500 members. Now, if their gym membership is $40 per month, then you will make them an additional $8,000 in monthly revenue by bringing them 200 new gym members, okay? Because 200 times 40, that's 8,000, okay? So by bringing them from 300 members to 500 members, you'll be bringing them an additional $8,000 in monthly revenue by bringing them these 200 new gym members. And so this can actually justify having a $2,000 per month retainer. Okay, that's completely fine. But after you've reached your goal of taking them to 500 members, they may not have more capacity. And so they may want you to turn down the ad budget to, let's say, 5% of the initial spend. And so suddenly you're only bringing them 10 new members per month, and the gym owner may no longer be willing to pay you $2,000 per month, okay? And so guys, just so you know, you'll learn how to price this kind of service the correct way in the pricing module. This is just a hypothetical example, which doesn't really explain things properly. In the pricing module, you'll learn exactly how to price all kinds of services the correct way, including this one, okay? But as I said, suddenly you're only bringing in 10 new members per month because this local business doesn't have more capacity, and so they may no longer be willing to pay you these $2,000 per month. All right, now on the contrary, we have example 2, okay? This is that you close an e-commerce client that sells beds on a $3,500 per month deal, okay? Now their current monthly revenue is $20,000, and they want to grow their business to $50,000 in monthly revenue, okay? Now they need your marketing expertise to help them do this, okay? So their initial ad budget is $5,000, and this is what they have to spend per month in the beginning to go from $20,000 per month to $50,000 per month, okay? And so you create their new campaigns and start running them for them. And after the first month, you've generated a return on ad spend of 3.5x, okay? So this means that from the $5,000 that you invested, you've generated $17,500 in revenue for your client from a $5,000 ad spend, okay? Now their monthly revenue is $37,500, right? Because they started on $20,000 and now you've brought them an additional $17,500. And so now they're sitting at $37,500 and they're closer to their goal of $50,000 per month, okay? Now this can justify a retainer of $3,500 per month, okay? That's completely fine. The next month, they want you to increase the ad spend to $7,500 so that you can keep growing their business. And so in this way, you can form a long, healthy, and profitable relationship for the both of you, okay? So you see the difference between the local gym example and the e-commerce example. It is that with the gym, you're bringing them lots of revenue in the beginning and you could have a pretty high retainer from this. But at a certain point, they reach maximum capacity of members in their gym. And so they want you to turn down the ad spend. And all of a sudden, the gym owner is no longer, willing to pay you $2,000 or $3,000 per month. And so you have to turn down the ad budget and your retainer, okay? And so that might only be profitable for you for, let's say, 3 or 6 months or even less than that, okay? But with an e-commerce business, you literally grow their business and they get more blood on their teeth, right? They get more hungry from that. And so the next month, they actually want you to increase the ad budget instead of decrease it. And so by increasing the ad budget, you'll be able to bring them in even more revenue. And, in parallel with that, you can also increase your retainer, okay? So it's a win-win for both of you because you can exponentially grow their business more and more as their ad budget increases. And you can actually also increase your retainer as you grow their business, okay? So it's a win-win and it's a long and profitable relationship for the both of you. Now, once again, guys, you'll learn how to price this kind of service the correct way inside of the pricing module, okay? So all this about, gradually increasing your retainer as you grow their business, you'll learn all about this in the pricing module. But I hope that these two examples put into the perspective the difference between working with a local client like a gym or dental clinic and working with an e-commerce business that can be scaled, okay? Now keep in mind, as I explained, delivering good results to e-commerce businesses, it does require more skill than delivering good results to local business, okay? What you need to deliver good results to local businesses is a very, very basic skill set, okay? Now you will learn how to deliver good results to e-commerce businesses in this course to a certain extent, okay? So not, $20,000 or $30,000 per month ad budgets, but you will learn the fundamentals that will allow you to generate really good results for e-commerce businesses to a certain extent, okay? Now, as soon as you want to scale past that, you can learn that in pro. But as I said, the goal of this program, take you to $10,000 to $15,000 per month, work with small to medium-sized businesses and generate them really good return on ad spend. You're going to learn all of that inside of this program, okay? So moving on, often you can make more from working with e-commerce businesses, but in the end, both local and e-commerce businesses can be interesting and very profitable to work with, right? Now, many successful Academy members have started locally with physical businesses like gyms and then expanded internationally to e-commerce businesses down the line, okay? Now, the key takeaways from this module should be that you don't have to limit yourself to one niche. You can run a multi-industry agency just like us. And we recommend spending your first 6 weeks searching for clients in a niche that you know, okay? So again, if you're not passionate or knowledgeable in any niche or industry, then that's okay. You don't have to pick one. But if there's anything, anything that you know a particular amount about or anything that you're particularly passionate about, then spend your first 6 weeks searching for clients in that particular niche, okay? Because your chances of closing a client in that niche will be higher, okay? And then remember that you can always start somewhere and then expand from there. For example, going from local businesses to e-commerce businesses, or going from the design furniture niche to other niches and expanding to a multi-industry agency, okay? So those were the key takeaways from this module. I hope you understood the difference between working with local businesses and e-commerce businesses and the advantages there are to choosing a particular industry or niche that you want to go into in the beginning, but also that it's completely possible to run a multi-industry agency just like Stage Digital, and that can actually bring you in more clients in the long run, okay? So yeah, if you manage to find an industry or a niche that you're passionate about, where you can see that you couldn't possibly contact all of the leads within 1 to 2 years, then you might actually be able to, create a very profitable agency just based off of that niche, okay? But if you can see it's a smaller, more narrow niche where you could contact all leads in 1 or 2 months, then you will not be able to generate, to run a sustainably profitable agency for a long amount of time just based on that one niche, okay? So these are really important points to keep in mind moving forward with your agency and choosing your agency focus, okay? So hopefully this gave you clarity. You can choose a niche. You can also go multi-industry like us, but going for something that you know in the beginning is advantageous because it will drastically increase your chances of closing your first client, okay? So that's going to be it for this module, and I'll see you in the next one.